Welcome back to another JK Mobility class. Today's class we're working a bit of hips, shoulders, a little bit of spine as well. In terms of props, all I've got is a block and a tennis ball. We'll see where we get to these later in the class. So let's start. We'll start with calves. We'll start with spine. We'll go shoulders and hips. So for spine, let's give ourselves a nice big hug here. Take a breath in. Good brace, good tension. Also, if this position isn't comfortable for you, you can't do a tall kneeling position. Totally fine. All right, so again, breath in. Good brace. Start to tuck your chin in towards chest. Start around, spine forward. Rotate, twist to the left. Side bend right, elbow lift, and start to extend up through the spine. Twist to the other side, around forward, and one more same direction. Twisting left, side bend, extend, extend, extend. As you twist to the other side, a little side bend here, round forward and reverse to the right. Rotate right, side bend, extend, little side bend around forward. One more same direction, twisting, side bending, extending, and back to center. Nice. Do shoulder casts from a different position today. We'll do them from a tabletop position. So let's bring the left hand out in front, lift up, find internal rotation, and start to reach back behind you. And you get to your hip, extend up again, externally rotating forward, and back to that starting position. Lift up, internally rotate, thumb down, as you reach back and up. Now to your hip, kick up again, externally rotating, thumb up, and back to that starting position. Switch sides, we go right shoulder. So right arm out in front of you, get that thumb up, find internal rotation and start reaching back and up. So I'm reaching up towards the ceiling here. The knuckles will be facing the side of hands, meaning you're still internally rotating, lifting up. Now externally rotate, thumb forward and up, and back to that starting position. Lift up, find that rotation as you reach back. Land at the hip, kick up again. Find that external rotation as you come forward. We'll do hips. We'll do them from this tabletop position today. We'll go the right hip first. So take a breath in. Grip some tension here. Bring the right knee in. Go wide as you can. And then find internal rotation. Like you're trying to get the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling here as you kick up. Stack the knees. Kick up again. Go wide and draw that knee up in towards armpit. And back to that starting position. One more time, draw it in, go wide, find that rotation, outer shin and ankle, kick up, and then stack the knees, drive up again, go wide, draw it in towards the shoulder, and back down. And switching sides, we'll go to the left hip. So left knee comes in, go as wide as you can without moving the other hip around. Outer shin and ankle lift up, so that's internal rotation as you drive up into extension. Stack the knees, again, drive up again, go wide, squeeze into shoulder, and back down. One more time, draw it in, go wide, find that rotation as you drive up, stacking, kick up again, go wide, squeeze into armpit, and back down. All right, we'll start with the hips in terms of our hard work for today. We'll come to a 90-90 position. We'll go the left shin across the front here, and the right leg is going to be our focus hip. This is the hip where we want to get our alignment sort of lined up. So I've got my hip, knee, and ankle in a line. So just have a look at your hip. Are you in these 90-degree angles? If it is really uncomfortable for you, this is where the block can come into play. Place underneath that left hip can take you a little bit out of that rotation and can help you here. All right, so we want to find a stretch here for this back hip. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my right hand behind me here. And then from there, it's a matter of keeping these alignment nice and straight here. I'm going to start turning my chest and torso a little bit towards this back hip. I'm turning, so the combination of turning my chest and maybe even some of you leaning back a little bit might find this stretch a bit better there. And we're looking for sort of a deep stretch in the outside of this back hip. So I'll give you a moment to play around, play with those angles, so leaning back, turning towards the back hip. Once you've found a bit of sensation there, just hang out there and take a few breaths. All right, so while you're breathing there, nice slow breath, I'll just go over our pails and rails cues. So the pails for this one is going to be driving that ankle down into the ground, trying to sweep forward. So that's trying to externally rotate the hip. The rails is the opposite, trying to internally rotate, like I'm trying to get this back ankle off the ground. Let's do a set here. We'll go for about 30 seconds and we'll build our way up to about 70% intensity. All right, so take a breath in. Create some good tension through your body here. So belly, glutes, even that front leg is squeezing. And then lightly start trying to externally rotate that back hip. So the action is driving that ankle down and through the mat. That's coming from trying to rotate your hip out to the right. Build your intensity up. Build up. And then find about 70% intensity and hold. Keep squeezing. Find that tissue that rotates the hip. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse your direction. Now you're going to get that back ankle off the ground, rotating the hip forward towards your front of the mat. That's finding that internal rotation. Keep working. Right about 70% intensity here. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right. So from there, we'll do lift-offs. So if we're at our end range position now, we try and lift that back ankle off the ground, we can't because we're in the stretch, we're at our end range. So we need to come out of that range a little bit, and that's going to mean turning my torso, my chest a little bit away from this back hip, so I'm more coming towards facing this front hip here. Give yourself a test. And from there, I lift off. And you can see I lean my body a little bit forward to make that lift off. So now I'm going to cement myself in this position. So what I don't want you to do is this lifting off and leaning at the same time. Imagine it's a matter of leaning away as far as you have to. It might be leaning forward, might be leaning off to the left, till you can get that little bit of lift off. Even if you're all the way out here, totally fine. All right, we're going to do 12 reps. So take a breath in. Good brace, good strong tension. Lift off. Back down. Lift off, give a good squeeze. Back down. Lift off. 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 Back down. 5 more. Lift off. And down. Lift off. Back down. 3 more. Lift off. And down. Lift off. Back down. 1 more time. Lift off. Back down. All right. Nice. Before we switch to the other side, we'll do a little bit more on this back hip. So from here, I'm going to turn myself a little bit more towards this front hip here. We're going to work a little bit of that internal rotation, a bit of abduction and extension as well. So I'll show you the action and we'll do it together. The first action is being lifting that ankle off the ground, which is what we just did. Then we lift up and we drive that hip back. So we drive back as far as we can. And again, keep an eye on my torso here. What I'm not doing is this. I'm not driving back and leaning forward. I'm staying nice and torso. So we're lifting up, extending back as far as we can. We can't extend anymore. We come forward, and then we rotate, pull it in towards the shoulder. Then we straighten the knee, bend the knee, and rotate back. On the way back, the knee touches and the ankle. All right, we'll do 8 of those reps. I'll talk you through as we go. All right, so let's lift that back ankle off the ground. Lift the hip up, extend back behind you, drive, drive, drive. Bring it forward, and then rotate the other way and squeeze in towards your shoulder. Keep squeezing as you straighten out the knee, bend the knee, and rotate on the way back. Knee and ankle touches, that's 1. Lift up, lift the hip up, drive back. Bring it forward, rotate, pull in, squeeze into shoulder, straighten the knee, keep the knee nice and high. Bend the knee, keep the knee high, and rotate on the way back. Really rotate. Try and get that knee to touch, and then the ankle. Ankle lifts, hip lifts, extend that hip. Bring it back, rotate, pull in, straighten, bend, rotate on the way back. Knee and ankle. Again, lift up, hip up, drive back. Back in line, rotate, pull in. Straighten the knee, keep the knee nice and high. Bend the knee, knees still pulling in, and then find that rotation on the way back. Knee, ankle touches. Let's keep it going. Ankle lifts, lift up, extend, extend, extend. Back in line, rotate, pull in, straighten, bend, rotate on the way back, knee and ankle. Lift ankle, lift hip, extend that hip, bring that knee back in line with the hip, and then find that rotation, pull in, straighten, bend, rotate on the way back, knee and ankle. Let's do 2 more. Lift the ankle, lift the whole hip, extend that hip, keep that 90-degree angle there, bring it back in line, rotate, pull in, straighten, bend, rotate, 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 knee and ankle. 1 more time. Lift ankle, lift hip, extend, extend, extend. And don't move the rest of the body around. Back in line, pull in, straighten, bend, rotate on the way back, back down. All right, so to get ourselves to the other side, let's get that front shin back in that true 90. So the 90 hip, knee and ankle in alignment here. From there, with that back hip, just rotate back as much as you can. Find your end, give a little squeeze. Keep that front shin down and back down. Rotate, back down. This time when you rotate, get to your end and start to straighten the knee and bend the knee, ankle, knee touches. Do that 1 more time. Rotate, keep that knee in that same position. So keep trying to rotate out more. Straighten the knee. Keep trying to rotate more, bend, ankle, knee touches. This time when you rotate and you can't go any further, allow that other hip to come with you. You'll end up facing 90-90 on the other side. So we'll start with that pails and rails again. So now the front shin can come in just to a comfortable position. And we want to find that stretch on that back hip. So I swing my left hand around behind me here. And it's that same combination of turning towards the back hip, so turning chest, torso towards the back hip, and maybe a little bit of leaning back here as well, okay? So I'll give you a moment, just scan for that stretch. And again, just take a few slower, deeper breaths. All right, so just working out your stretch, and once you've found it, yeah, just cement yourself in that position and really try and calm down here. Nice, slow breathing. I'll give you a few more breaths. All right, so we'll go into the pails and rails while you're still breathing here. The pails action, again, it can be driving the ankle down, sweeping it forward towards the front of the mat. The rails action is trying to lift this back ankle off the ground. So externally rotating pails, internally rotating for the rails, and we build up to that 70%. Let's take a breath in. Good brace, good tension here, and then lightly start trying to externally rotate. So I'm trying to drive that back ankle down. I'm trying to rotate my hip in that direction towards the back of my mat. Build your intensity up, build up, and then find 70% and hold. So 70%, whatever your maximum is, just try and maintain that 70%. Good high tension here through the whole set. Try not to drop off. We've got about 15 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. Find that internal rotation now, 70% straight away. Make sure you're still squeezing tension through your whole body here, not just that hip you're trying to work. And that helps to drive that force into that hip, which is what we're trying to target here. We have 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, so we want to do those lift offs. So again, we need to bring ourselves out of that end range position. So that's going to mean turning a little bit more towards that front hip until you find that position where you can get that little bit of lift off, which is for me is about there. And again, I only want an inch or two off the ground here. If you're getting this high off the ground, then you need to turn yourself back towards that back hip a little bit more. So find towards your end range where you can get that little baby bit of lift off. We got our 12 reps. Let's take a breath in. Good brace. From there, lift off, back down. 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 Lift off, and down. Lift off, back down. Lift off, and down. 4 more. Lift off, and down. Lift off, back down, off, and down. 1 more time. Lift off, and back down. All right. So we'll go through that movement path next. So the next one is going to be lifting that ankle off the ground, lifting the hip up, driving back, bring it forward, rotating, straightening, bending, and rotating on the way back down. All right. I think we did 6 reps last time. We'll do 6 on this side as well. So this might mean turning a little bit more towards that front hip will make this one easier. Getting a little off to the side is going to make this easier as well. But again, cement yourself once you've found that position, you can do the work in. All right, breath in. There's some good tension here. And then from there, lift that ankle, lift the hip, drive back, maintain that 90-degree angle, extend, extend, extend. Drive back in line, squeeze into shoulder, pull in, straighten, bend, knees still high, then rotate on the way back. Find that rotation on the way back. Try and get the knee to touch, and then the ankle. Ankle, lift hip, extend that hip, pull it forward, and squeeze in, really pull in, straighten, bend, rotate on the way back, knee and ankle. Ankle lifts, hip lifts, drive, bring it back in line with the hip, and then pull in, straighten, bend, and rotate. And that's 3, we got 3 more. Lift up, drive back, pull it back in line, find that rotation, pull in, straighten, bend, rotate on the way back. Let's do 2 more. Lift up, drive that hip back, pull in, squeeze in the shoulder, really pull in, straighten, bend, and find that rotation on the way back. Lift ankle, lift hip, drive that extended hip back, or the abducted hip, pull it back in line, squeeze in, straighten, and bend. We have 1 more rep. Ankle lifts, hip lifts, keep that hip lifting up as you extend back, pull back in line, rotate the other way, straighten, bend, and land. All right. Let's get that front shin back out in front now. So we're back to that true 90-90. Again, we keep that front shin planted now. And from there with that back hip, just rotate it to the back of the room as much as you can. And back down. Nice and slow. Rotate, get to your ends, squeeze more. Back down. This time rotate, and when you can't go anymore, lift the heel up, straighten that knee, but keep trying to externally rotate. Foot touches the knee. Rotate that hip and keep trying to rotate now. Keep trying to rotate more as you straighten the knee, bend the knee, and land. This time when you rotate and you can't go any further, allow that other hip to come with you. And we'll end in a bear sit position here. So from there, I got my toes facing away from each other here. I'm set flush down on my bum. We'll just do a few axials for the hips. So the key with this one is keeping your bum flat down on the ground. So what I don't want to see is this. So this would be my end range. My bum's flat, but I could get that knee to go down to the ground if I want to, but now I'm just moving the rest of my pelvis around. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get to your end range of the hip rotation here. So with that right hip, keeping your bum flat down on the ground here, just rotate, find your end, give it a little squeeze, and rotate out. Just pause there. One thing I'll mention here with the foot here, You can place it to whatever's comfortable for you. So don't just try and match me. You can go further away, closer in, further out to the side. Find that position. We'll do this 2 more times. So rotate in to your end, give a little squeeze, and rotate out. Rotate in, again a little squeeze at the end, rotate out, find more rotation on the external. Nice. Actually, we'll do that 1 more time. Rotate in and rotate out. We'll go to the left hip, rotate that hip in and out, rotate in, back out. 1 more time, rotate in and back out. All right, from here we'll come to lie down on our right side. We're going to the shoulders next. So we're going to do pails and rails for internal rotation of the shoulder, and we'll do it from the sleeper stretch. So to set ourselves up here, we have our legs nice and straight first. We're in this nice straight line. I'm sort of making an L shape from my body through to my arm here. What I want to do is I want to create some space here. So I'm moving my feet forward and scoot my hips back. So create a little bit of a hollow area here. From there with my right arm, I'm going to bring it a little bit more towards my toes. And from there, I'm going to bend the elbow and the left hand will come to the forearm here. Now what we want to do, I want to get my shoulders sort of stacking on top of each other. And I like to squeeze my shoulder blades together for this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to aim my fist down roughly towards where my sort of belt buckle area is, somewhere between my belly button and belt buckle. From there, this top arm just drives down gently. And again, I'll try and get those shoulders to stack on top of each other. And I'm squeezing those shoulder blades together. All right. So we're going to do pails and rails from here. Again, we'll build up to that 30%. 30 seconds for 70%. Just get my timer. So the pails action for this one, we're going to maintain those squeezing the shoulder blades together, and even squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit down your back here helps for me as well. The pails action for this one is trying to externally rotate. So you'll be driving in this direction. So you're driving up towards the ceiling, but the hand will be blocking you, not allowing any movement. And then the rails is reversing, trying to internally rotate down towards the ground. All right, so key action here again, keep those shoulders stacked on top of each other, keep squeezing those shoulder blades together and down. I find that works best for me. Let's take a breath in, good brace, and then lightly start rotating out. So you're pressing the bottom hand into the top hand, build your intensity up, build up, and then find what feels like 70% to you and hold, and go 30 seconds again. Keep those shoulders stacked, keep squeezing them together. Ten more seconds. When I tell you to nothing changes in terms of your body position, you reverse direction. You go from external to internal rotation in 3, 2, 1. 70%, try to internally rotate that shoulder now. You're trying to get that fist to come more down towards the ground by rotating the shoulder. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hand back on and just relax into the stretch for a moment. All right, so we can do something called passive range holds from this position. So what we want to do, we want to bring this top hand still on here, and we get right down to our end range. I'm driving that hand down, I'll get right to my end of passive range here. I'm still keeping those actions, the shoulders stacking, shoulder blades squeezing together. So what I do, I drive down, and I try and hold that internal rotation, I give it a good squeeze, and I release the top hand, and we hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand comes back on, and we'll reset for another rep. All right, we're going to go, let's go 6 reps, and we'll go 5-second holds. So drive yourself down to the end range, contract that rails tissue we just worked, and then release the top hand and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand back on, press down, contract, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back on, contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back on, contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. back on, contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more reps. Back on, contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I got one more. Contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, from here we'll go into swimmers. So we do this from, I've got sort of kneeling position for this one. And so for this one here, I'm going to use my tennis ball, and that's just for something to grip into. So I'm going to show you from behind, and we're going to do one arm at a time. So the action is going to be here. I'll just do it quickly, and then we'll do it together. We're lifting off to the back of the room, straighten the elbow. I'm still reaching back, internally rotating, thumb down, and reaching back, back, back. Bend the elbow, lift off, straighten back behind you, externally rotating, and then we land back on the head. We'll do that 3 times. I'll just show you from behind here, just so you can see. So that right hand with the ball comes behind your head. Try to keep the ribs down here. So we try not to, with this one here, what will tend to happen, the spine will try and help us here by flaring out those ribs and extending the spine. We want to try and keep that packed down here as best as we can. All right, so you can even bring your left hand to the front of the rib cage here, so you'll be able to feel yourself if you're flaring out those ribs. Right hand behind the head, keep those ribs down, then reach hand and elbow to the back of the room, straighten the elbow, but keep reaching back behind you. Internally rotate, thumb down as you start reaching back, and I'm still trying to internally rotate as I reach back. I bend the elbow and I land. I lift off, I reach the back of the room, I straighten the elbow. Now I externally rotate, thumb up first. Keep trying to rotate more as you reach up, bend and land. Lift off, straighten, find that rotation as you reach back, bend, lift off, straighten, rotate as you reach back, bend, land on the head. One more time, lift off, straighten elbow, find that rotation as you reach back, bend, lift off, find that external rotation, reaching back and up, and land back on the head. Alrighty, let's catch up the other side. Let's come lie down on the left side now. So we're working our left shoulder joint now. Those actions are still the same here. So set yourself up for that sleeper stretch. And again, this is my best position that I find, with the elbow slightly towards my feet here. If you find it better up here, here, your shoulder is different to my shoulder. It's like I can give you directions here, but you have to scan and find your best line of stretch, okay? I don't know how your shoulder feels, so it's your job to find that best stretch. All right, but I can give you the cues here. So again, I like the shoulders sort of stacking on top of each other. I like to squeeze my shoulder blades together and down. And from there, that top arm just drives me down into internal rotation. Another thing as well is this shoulder blade here. We want this to be blocked. So I'm really blocking it here by lying down on that shoulder there, okay? In that position, I can still squeeze my shoulder blades together. All right, let's take a breath in. Good brace, good tension here, and then lightly start rotating out. Build your intensity up. Build up. Build up. Find that 70% and hold. Keep squeezing. You've got about 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. Find that internal rotation now. Driving that fist down from the shoulder. Keep those actions, shoulder blades squeezing, shoulders stacked. Let's go, 10 more seconds. We got one round of these. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, so we'll still be in the same position, and we'll do those passive range holds, which was those 5-second holds that we did earlier. All right, Again, get that elbow in a good position for you, if it isn't already. And then that top hand drives down. So now contract that rails tissue, which is the one we just worked. Find that rotation and then release the top hand and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back on, contract and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back on, good squeeze, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back on, 3 more. Contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back on, drive down, contract, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last rep. Contract, then lose the action of the shoulder blades and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we're going to the swimmers next. And for that one with the sleeper stretch, if you couldn't quite find the rotational tissue that you're trying to target there, it does take time to develop that work to be able to get that mind-body connection. And if you just can't get it, just get me on Instagram. I'll help you out. We'll give you some tips to try and find it there. Alrighty, let's go into those swimmers. So I'll show you from behind again. Here's the one we're going to grab that tennis ball. Get mindful of the ribs flaring out here. We'll do those 3 reps. Breath in, good tension. From there, it'll reach to the back of the room. Straighten that elbow, but keep reaching back. Internally rotate as you reach back and up. I'm really reaching up here. Bend the elbow and land. Lift off, straighten back behind you. Find that external rotation. Reaching up, bend that elbow and land. High tension here. Lift off, straighten, but keep reaching back. Find that rotation as you reach back and up. Bend the elbow, land, lift off, straighten, externally rotating, reaching up towards the head, land, lift off. One more time, straighten, rotate, rotate, rotate. Land on the back, lift off, straighten back, externally rotating, and we land back on the head. All right, very good. Let's go spinal segmentation next, and then we'll finish with shoulder and hip cars, and we're all done for today. So come to this tabletop position. I'll lose my glasses. So we'll start in spinal extension. So what that means is lifting the tail up towards the sky and lifting your chin up. So you should be creating a bit of an arch in your low back here. So this is like cat-cows, but super slow and controlled, so none of this sort of business. So really, really slow, all right? So keep that chin lifting, take a breath in, create some tension here, and then slowly start tucking the pelvis under. Very slowly rounding through the spine. Nice and slow. I'm still in sort of my mid-spine here. Take your time. And this one definitely takes time to develop. So if you're already at your neck, you tuck your chin in towards your chest. I'm still making my way up there. And when you get to this fully rounded position, your chin is tucked in. I keep my chin tucked now, and I slowly start lifting the tail up towards the sky. So I'm starting from the tail, and I'm slowly trying to bring that spine back into extension. Again, nice and slow. And if you only have 2 minutes in your day, you want to do something to look after your spine, this is the one that I would do. Get back into extension, lifting that chin up, lifting the tail up. We'll do that one more time. Keep the chin lifted and slowly start tucking the pelvis under. And now we're trying to slowly round the spine. Make your way up towards your neck. When you feel it come in, you start to tuck your chin in. You get that round position. Keep the chin tucked. Then we start with the tail again, slowly lifting up. All right, very good. Actually, we'll do one more for the spine, and then we'll finish with the shoulder and hip cast. So for this one, we'll come to a seated position, and we'll have the legs straight out in front of us. So we did the spinal segmentation, which was the flexion and extension. This one is just mainly the flexion side of it. So this one here, I'm going to take my hands in fists, and I'm going to reach out in front of me. I don't really care what this looks like, whether you're just here, whether you get all the way to the toes, it doesn't really matter. From there, we tuck our chin in towards our chest. You can feel that roundness through the spine. We want to maintain that now. So maintain that chin tucked and start to lean back. As you lean back, start tucking the pelvis under, and then think about slowly getting each piece of the spine to contact the ground one at a time. I'm keeping my chin tucked. I'm slowly rolling all the way down. You might even get a few little pops and crackles here. When the head contacts, tuck the chin in towards the chest and round all the way up. If you need to use the hands or bend the knees, that's okay, but if you can do it without it, then do it without it. Lean forward, get to that starting position. We'll do that one more time. Keep the chin tucked, maintain that roundness, nice and slowly, rolling all the way down to the ground. Nice, we'll do that one more time. Tuck in, nice and slow, come all the way back up. Nice, and release. All right, since we're in this seated position, what we'll do, we'll come to lie down on our left side. We'll do our shoulder cards from this position today. So I'm off my left forearm here, and that's just to create some space. The right arm out to the side. So start an external rotation, thumb away from you, sweep that arm across your body and up towards that overhead position. Then thumb away from you as you internally rotate and reach back behind you. The knuckles will come to the side of your hip, kick back again, externally rotating, so thumb up first, then keep rotating as you come up to that overhead position. Back to where we started. One more time, sweep across your body and up. Find that internal rotation as you reach on back. Land at the hip, kick back again, open up, rotating, forward, across, and back down, and we'll switch sides. So I've got a little special guest who's joined us for the finishing of the class here. Say hi, Willow. So let's come to lie down on our right forearm here. We'll have the left arm out by the side. Find that external rotation. Sweep across your body towards your overhead position. Find that internal rotation as you reach back behind you. Land at your hip, kick back again, externally rotating. And find that end range position and get back to where we started. One more time, sweep across and up. Internal rotation, thumb away as you reach on back. Land at the hip, kick it back, open up. Nice. Nice. Since we're on our right side, we'll go into our left hip joint. So we come to lie down on our right side. From there, we'll give ourselves a little brace here. So I've got my bottom arm in a fist, top arm grabs on, just for some little tension. Bring that top knee in towards you. Go wide, find internal rotation, like you're trying to get the sole of the foot up towards the sky as you start to kick back behind you without extending the spine. Stack the knees, kick it back, go wide, then squeeze up into shoulder and back down. Do that one more time. Pull in, go wide, find that rotation as we kick back. Stacking, kick back again, up towards the ceiling, and then rotate knee into shoulder, back down. All right, switch sides, and we're all done for today. All right, the two on the right side. Let's go. Right knee in, go wide, find that rotation again, like you're trying to get the sole of the foot up towards the sky and kicking back at the same time. Stack the knees, kick it back, wide, up in towards the armpit, pull it in, and then back down. One more time, pull in, go wide, internally rotate that hip as you drive back. Stack the knees, extend, abduct, so go wide, pull into shoulder, back down. Alrighty. All right, that's our class for today, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. Bit of spine, hips, shoulders, bit of a mixed bag for you today. If any of those movements didn't quite work for you, didn't quite feel the stretch or the sensation there, It does take time, so be patient with it, and over time, subsequent takes of the class, you'll find that connection, you'll be able to get that work in. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the class. Let me know how you went. I'll catch you next time.